So hello and welcome to yet another class of simple equations. So here today we will be continuing our discussion on problem solving techniques which we started from last video. In this video we will be dealing with some of the calculation problems, that is some of the problems asked in CAT where it looks like that lots of equations are involved or lots of calculations are involved, but actually with some smart thinking we can solve them really quickly. So we will be doing this and continue doing this in our next video as well. Once again, we will be picking up problems from the assignment which is there at the following link, or can also be copied and pasted in your browser from the description of this video. Okay, so let's get going. So our first problem is a level 1 problem, question number 8, which says like this. Anita had to do a multiplication. Instead of taking 35 as one of the multipliers, she took 53. As a result, the product went up by 540. We have to tell that what is the new product. So if I want, I can go on doing it like this, that 35 into say the unknown number x, and then 53 into that unknown number x, 53 minus 35x equal to 770, finding x, and so on. But then we don't want to get into that. Why? Sorry, not 770, it was 540. Why? Because what they have asked is new product. They have not asked the other multiplier. So a new product will be something like this, 53x, right? So hence it will be a multiple of 53. So we can check from the options and reject out those options which are not multiple of 53. Now for checking which option is a multiple of 53, we don't even need to consider this last 0 because that will not make any difference. So I will just check out this. Is 105 divisible by 53? 54 divisible by 53? 144 divisible by 53? Or 159 divisible by 53? I can clearly and very easily find out that 159 is the one which is divisible by 3 because 53 into 3 by 53. So hence only one of the options is divisible by 53. Hence I don't need to do any calculations. I can mark 1590 and just move on. Now come to this question. Two positive integers differ by 4 and sum of the reciprocals is 10 by 21. Then one of the numbers is. So once again they have asked that which is one of the numbers, and we can test that out with the options. So first line itself says that two positive integers differ by 4. Now if I have to test out the first option, that is 3, I will either take 3 plus 4 or 3 minus 4. 3 plus 4 is 7, 3 minus 4 is minus 1. I know that the two integers are positive integers, so that's why this is not done. So I will take 7. So yeah, first condition, that is differ by 4, is satisfied. Now see if taking 3 and 7 will satisfy my second condition. I see 21 is my LCM. I get 7 plus 3, 10 by 21. So yes, if we take 3 and 7, sum of reciprocals is also 10 by 21. So as soon as we tested the first option, we got the answer. So I will mark A and move on. Now comes a level 2 problem, which is problem number 4 and 5 of the level 2. Let's read it out. An airline has a certain free luggage allowance and charges for excess luggage at a fixed rate per kg. So they have not given us anything, free luggage allowance or charges for excess luggage. So we go by a normal process saying free luggage allowance as F and charges for excess luggage equal to X. Two passengers, Raja and Praja, have 60 kg of luggage between them and are charged rupees 1200 and 2400 respectively. So this is cool. Raja is charged rupees 1200 and Praja is charged 2400 respectively for excess luggage. Hand the entire luggage to one of them, the excess luggage charge would be rupees 5400. What is the weight of Praja's luggage? So instead of continuing with my forming relations with my unknowns, instead I read the full question and found out that what actually they are asking. So they are asking what is the weight of Praja's luggage given this data. So before I start forming the relations between my unknowns, I see that they have 60 kg of luggage together, whose distribution could be anything 30, 30, 35, 25, 40, 20, anything. But they have 60 kg together. But at the same time, I also found that they are charged rupees 1200 and 2400 respectively. That is, Raja is charged rupees 1200 and Praja is charged rupees 2400. That means Praja has more luggage since Praja is charged more. That means if they have 60 kg together, Praja has more than half of it. Because if Praja has less than half of it, then Raja will have more than half of it and Raja will have higher luggage than Praja. But since Praja has got higher luggage, so Praja has to have more than half of it, so that Raja will have less than half of it and hence less luggage than Praja. So Praja has more than half of it. Half of 60 is equal to 30 kg. So Praja has more than 30 kg luggage. Now I see that since Praja has more than 30 kg luggage, this, this and this cannot be my answer. A, B, C cannot be my answer because my answer is more than 30 kg. So very well. So my answer is either 35 kg or 40 kg. Let's test them both out with the conditions given. So it is said that it is charged rupees 1200. Raja is charged rupees 1200. So now if Praja has 35 kg, Praja has more than 30 kg, but if Praja has 35 kg, if Praja has 35 kg, Raja has 25 kg. So in that case, what happens is the equation we formed is that 35 minus whatever is the free luggage allowance, that is the luggage allowed for free, into x, that is charge for excess luggage, because this is the excess luggage, is 1200, sorry 2400, because for Praja it is 2400, and similarly 25 minus f into x would give you 1200. Once again I repeat, this is nothing but total charge for excess luggage. Since free luggage allowance is f, so extra luggage will be 35 minus f, and charges for extra luggage per kg is x kg. So total charges for extra luggage will be 35 minus f into x. Similarly 25 f minus f into x. Now let me call these equations 1 and 2. On dividing 1 by 2, I get 35 minus f by 25 minus f equal to 2. That is 2400 by 1200, which is equal to 2. On solving this, I get 35 minus f equal to 50 minus 2f, therefore f equal to 15 kg. So this gives me f equal to 15 kg. Now if f equal to 15 kg, then both these equations will satisfy. That is clear. But then what will be x corresponding to that? So if f equal to 15 kg, then 25 minus 15 into x, this is from equation 2. equal to 1200, which gives me 10x equal to 1200, or x equal to 10. So, sorry, x equal to 120. So f equal to 15 kg and x equal to rupees 120. These two values do satisfy these two equations. Let's see if it satisfies this condition as well. That is, the excess luggage charge would have been 5400 if the entire luggage would have been with one of them. Let's see. If entire luggage was 60, excess luggage would have been 60 minus 15. And since 120 rupees for excess luggage per kg, total charge would have been 60 minus 15 into 120, which would have given me 45 into 120, which will give me 45 into 100 plus 20, which gives me 4500, plus 45 into 20 is 900, which is 5400. So yes, this option satisfies all the conditions in the question, hence 35 kg is my answer. Now in the process of solving this question, I have already solved this question, which asks what is free luggage allowance. It is 15 kg. So a very important lesson from these three problems which we have done is that before forming the equations, just see that what exactly is asked in the question, and we might be able to eliminate lots of calculations. So first step in this direction is looking at what is being asked in the questions and then doing the needful. Let's move to one more question in this lecture. That is again a level 2 problem. Question number 22 and 23 taken from your assignment. So it goes like this. That a salesman enters quantity sold and price into the computer. Both numbers are 2-digit numbers. Okay, so let one number be 10x plus y, that is quantity, and price, let it be 10a plus b, since both are 2-digit numbers. But by mistake, both numbers were entered with their digits interchanged. So the numbers entered were 10y plus x and 10b plus a, because their digits were interchanged. That is, if say one number is 12, which is nothing but 10 into 1 plus 1 into 2. If they get interchanged, that is 10y, then it becomes 10 into 2 plus 1 into 1, which is 21. So if the digits get interchanged, what is getting multiplied with 10 and what is getting multiplied with 1 also gets changed. So that's why 10x plus y and 10y plus x, 10a plus b and 10b plus a. But by mistake, both the numbers were entered with their digits interchanged. The total sales remained same, that is rupees 1148. Now I am tempted in saying that multiplying these two and multiplying these two and equating them to 1148. But I will hold it. Instead, I would read it further and see that the inventory reduced by 54. So from this I can form two equations. One equation for me would be this into this, because quantity into price is total sales. Will be equal to 10y plus x into 10b plus a, because total sales remain same, and which will be equal to 1148. So this is an annoying equation. So instead of solving this, first I will move to the second equation and see that if I can infer something out of that and the given options. Because as I told you that the trick is to avoid unnecessary calculations as much as possible. So they said, but the inventory reduced by 54. So inventory reduced by 54 means that whatever was stock supposed to be, it was recorded 54 less. That is, if 10x plus y would have been entered, it would have been 54 more. But since 10y plus x was entered, it is 54 less. That means 10y plus x is greater than 10x plus y by 54, because since extra 54 has been entered into the computer, that's why it is showing that stock is less by 54. So you have to be careful about this. This is 10y plus x minus 10x plus y equal to 54. Inventory reduced by 54 means that whatever is actually sold has been entered more. That's why inventory is getting reduced by 54. This leads me to 10y plus x minus 10x minus y equal to 54, which gives me 9y minus 9x equal to 54, which in turn gives me y minus x equal to 6. So yes, from second equation, which is not as annoying as this first equation to calculate, I get y minus x equal to 6, which tells me that second digit is 6 more than first digit. In quantity sold. So if I look at the quantity sold, which is actually my second question, my answer would be the one where second digit is 6 more than first digit. I can clearly see that that is the only case in 28, because in 28 8 is 6 more than 2. So actual quantity sold is 28. Therefore, using this we can answer 22 as well. That is, what is actual price per piece, which was 28 into price is equal to 1148, which gives me price equal to 1148 by 28, which would be 41 rupees, which is clear, 41. So we saw that in this we can avoid lots of calculation just by being little diligent. Let's go back and have a review of all the problems which we did as a part of this video. So first problem we did was this Anita doing a multiplication. We were able to do it quickly because we looked at what is being asked. We saw that it was asked that what is the new product, and from this we inferred that the new product should be a multiple of 53. So all we had to do was locate the multiple of 53, which turned out to be 1590. In second problem again, we looked at the question which asked then one of the numbers is, and we tried out the option. We found out that with option A itself, one of the numbers was satisfied. In third problem again we made use of the fact that they asked what is the weight of Praja's luggage, and we started with the fact that Praja's luggage is higher than Raja because Raja is charged rupees 1200 and Praja is charged rupees 2400, and then we built upon that information. That is, information was Praja's luggage is larger than Raja. Even in this, I looked at the last statement first before forming the equations or inferring anything out of first statement. They said, but the inventory reduced by 54. We followed up with this statement, which was much simpler as compared to the previous one. That is, the equation formed by this statement was much simpler, and then were able to solve it. So the moral of the story is that before actually listing down the unknowns and making relations between them while reading the question, read the question completely. Quite often the hint is there in the last line of the question itself. Second moral of the story is that the data given in the question is not the only data which is given. Some data is given in answers as well. We made a very effective use of data given in answers in each of the cases. In our next assignment, that is in our next lecture, we will be dealing with more calculation based problems where the options will be not as friendly as the problems which were here. So we'll be doing some tips and tricks around that thing, that how to choose among the options which are close to each other and not as friendly as the ones which were there in this. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video. Goodbye.